Hello, I'm Laura Burt-Nicholas. I am the science librarian at the College of DuPage, and I'm going to spend the next couple of minutes talking to all of you about how to find a good article for Professor N.DiGiovanni's project. You'll see that we're actually getting started out on the class page. Your class professor and title is right here. And the first place I would recommend that you look for information for your project is in Gale. Now, one of the things you'll notice when I click on the Gale link is that I go straight into Gale. If you yourself have not used library databases before you start your searching, you'll see a little login screen that will ask for your COD network ID before you get into any COD library databases. That's the same username and password that you use to log into Blackboard or your email. Now, your professor has said you don't want to use a Gale article in order to complete this project. So why am I recommending it? The simple answer is that Gale is a really good way of discovering how to find research on your topic. So how to get some context that will help you understand your magazine article or your scholarly article. Also a good place to find different words you can use in order to be able to do your research. So for example, when I search biotechnology in Gale books, you can see that a number of encyclopedia articles come up, including one that connects biotechnology to the environment. Another one connects biotechnology to food. Let me click on that article title. And you can start to learn a little bit now about biotechnology and food right here in these pages. So you can see this is the full text of an encyclopedia article. And you can start to learn a little bit here. So for example, one thing you can see is that in modern biotechnology, when it relates to food, scientists can move genes for valuable traits from one plant to another plant. They can make a plant taste or look better, be more nutritious, protect itself from insects, produce more food, or survive and prosper in inhospitable environments. So these are all things that you might want to follow up on in order to narrow down your topic, as Professor N.DiGiovanni encourages you to do when you are looking for information for your topic. Now, a couple of other things that you might notice where Gale might be helpful is you can see over here on the right side of the screen, the word for biotechnology when it involves food is genetically modified organisms. So this might be another search term you might use when you're in our library databases. You will also see as you scroll down even more information here about biotechnology and food. So for example, if you wanted to look into one of these options, you can see, for example, disease resistance and genetically modified organisms might be a great way to look up an article about different foods and the ways they have been changed through technology. Once you find a good Gale article, if you want to spend a little more time with it, you can see you have the option to download it or send it to Google Drive or email right up here at the top of your screen. And this can also help you when you are reading your article. You might flip back and forth a little bit between your article and Gale in order to get definitions or more context for any of the claims your article is making. Let me head back to that library class page again. So the second thing you're going to discover on this class page is Academic Search Complete, where you're going to be looking for the articles you will use in order to complete this assignment. As your professor has indicated, Academic Search Complete is a great place to find a wide variety of articles. So you're going to find scholarly articles that are written by researchers and professors that are published according to a process called peer review, which means the articles are checked over before they're published to make sure they're expert and accurate. You'll also find popular articles here, so newspaper and magazine articles that are written for a little more of a general public. Because Academic Search Complete is so big, you are going to want to make sure that when you search, you're pretty specific. So, for example, if I start by searching for genetically modified organisms, as Gale suggests, and then let me add corn, because I know in that entry, one of the things that this article talks about is that corn has been genetically modified. When I hit search, you'll see that about 106 articles come up that all have something to do with corn and genetic modification. Now at this point, you can see as you look down, there are a bunch of different types of articles. So we get academic journal articles, usually scholarly articles here. You can also see news articles here, so something from a newspaper. Of course, if you use a newspaper article, you want to make sure that it is long enough to give you enough detail to do this project well. One thing you can also notice as you look here is that even an article that may not be a perfect fit for your project might push you into research strategies that will help you well with this class. So what I'm going to do is click on this article title. And when we do this in databases, we get a little more information about that article. So you can see your citation information is right up here. It's broken out and labeled. As you scroll down, you'll see an abstract in the center of the screen. This is a paragraph-long summary of what the article is about, and it does two things for you. It will first give you a sense as to the focus of the article and whether or not it's something you want to spend time with. The second thing it will do for you is it will give you a clue as to the level of language you can expect in the article. So if you discover that you are struggling to move from one sentence to the next, this is probably a clue that the article itself will be written at a really scholarly level, and it may be a struggle to read. You may want to keep looking for another article. Of course, if you see there are only one or two words that you don't quite understand, this is a great moment for you to use Gale to look up those words and get a little more sense as to what the article is talking about. Let me scroll up a little bit here. So it looks like this article is about basically genetically modifying food and trying to provide food for the hungry. If this is something you are interested in, if you scroll up, you'll see you have a choice for this article between HTML and PDF full text. I would always recommend picking the PDF if that is an option for you, because that gives you an actual image of what the article looks like when it's published. And you can see at this point the article is right here in the center of the screen. So you have a chance to pull it up, to read it, to use it for this project. You can also see up here in my dark gray toolbar, I can download a copy of the article or print it. Or over here on the right, I can actually send myself an electronic copy of the email to any email I normally read. And then you can even have the database send you a sample APA citation that you can copy and paste at the end of your project. Now let me go back one more time. Let's say, however, you looked at the abstract and you thought this is not exactly what I'm interested in. One of your options is to look in the center of your screen here for the subject words, subject terms. These are the words the database is using to describe your research project. And one of the things you might notice at this moment is that we search for genetically modified organisms, but the database is actually using the word transgenic to talk about these kinds of organisms. When I click on transgenic, the database will do a new search, and as you can see, it's pulled up 1,200 articles, almost 1,300, that all have transgenic organisms as a subject heading. The other thing you're going to notice, though, is it's forgotten my second word. So at this moment, I can go back in and say, no, really, give me articles about transgenic organisms and corn. And at this point, you can see, hey, there are 45 articles that really specifically focus in on this, that you can read, that you can use, that you can think about. Down here as well, over on the left, you could have a choice to choose between scholarly journals or magazine articles. So for example, if I pick magazines, you can find different full text articles here then that talk about corn and transgenic organisms. One thing you want to be careful about is that you can see, for example, this first article is only 1 page long. You want to make sure that you're looking at something long enough that will give you information you need to complete the project. Let me head back to that library class page once again. The last thing I want to show you as you look at the very bottom of your screen is that I've got a link here that will take you to the library's APA citation guide. I'm going to pick electronic sources here because we're looking at articles on our screen. And at this point, if you scroll down, you can see that on this page, there's an example of the kind of information you want in a citation, and then an example of what that looks like in APA style right here. So for example, author information, last name, comma, first initial, the date that it was published, the article title here, you can see as in sentence case, that means the first word is capitalized. Any words right after a colon are capitalized, and then proper nouns like Chicago are also capitalized. The journal title is going to be in italics, following that, a volume number, an issue number, the page numbers of the articles, a URL if appropriate. So basically, most articles that you find in databases like Academic Search Complete, you're not going to need a URL for. But this can be a way to check the citation that Academic Search Complete is sending you and make sure that it looks good. Let me head back to that library class page one last time. And the last thing I want to show you is you can see right over here on the right side of my screen, there's a little float out that says Need Help. If I click on that whenever the library is open, I have a chance to chat with people who are working in the library in real time and ask questions. You'll also see that my name, my contact information, a chance to email me or to schedule an appointment with Zoom is right over here on the right. One thing I encourage students to think about is that oftentimes when you watch these videos, the steps I'm taking all look really easy. If you have questions, if you feel like you're not finding the right information or you are not quite sure what to do, reach out, speak with me, talk with the library in general, make sure that you get your questions answered so that you can feel confident when you turn your assignment in. All right, that's it for today. Good luck on the project, and I will talk to you all later.